Ever stumbled upon a seemingly random assortment of items being sold by someone who doesn't quite fit the mold of a traditional retailer? Or perhaps you've heard whispers of individuals who flit between different gigs, always seeming to have their hands in a little bit of everything? Well, that intriguing phenomenon might just lead us to the concept we're diving into today, the world of the jobber. Now, before your mind conjures up images of odd-job men or jacks of all trades, let's clarify that while there might be some overlap in the colloquial sense, the term jobber carries a more specific, often historical and economically significant meaning. It's a term that speaks to a particular kind of intermediary, a vital cog in the machinery of trade and commerce, particularly when we look back at the evolution of markets and distribution. To truly grasp the concept, we need to journey back a bit, to a time before the streamlined supply chains and massive retail conglomerates we know today. Imagine bustling marketplaces, perhaps in the heart of a burgeoning industrial city or a vibrant port town. Goods would arrive from various sources, local producers, distant manufacturers, even international traders. But how did these goods find their way to the smaller shops, the individual vendors, and ultimately the consumers? This is where the jobber often stepped in. Think of them as wholesale merchants, but with a crucial distinction. Unlike large-scale distributors who might focus on moving vast quantities of a single product line, jobbers typically dealt in a more diverse array of goods. They would purchase smaller lots from various suppliers, accumulating a broader inventory than a single small retailer could realistically manage or afford to source directly. Consider a scenario. A small corner store needs a mix of dry goods, perhaps flour from one mill, sugar from another, and canned goods from yet another producer. Instead of dealing with each of these suppliers individually, placing small orders and navigating multiple deliveries, the store owner could turn to a jobber. The jobber, having already aggregated these diverse products in their warehouse or trading post, could supply the store with a consolidated order, simplifying the process and potentially offering better pricing due to their bulk purchasing power. In essence, the jobber acted as a crucial link in the distribution chain, bridging the gap between producers or large importers and smaller retailers. They provided a vital service by breaking down bulk shipments into more manageable quantities, making a wider variety of goods accessible to a larger number of smaller businesses. This was particularly important in times and places where transportation and communication were less efficient, making direct sourcing cumbersome and costly for small players. The role of the jobber wasn't just about logistics, though. They often possessed valuable market knowledge. They understood the demands of local retailers, the preferences of consumers, and the availability of various goods. This insight allowed them to curate their inventory effectively, ensuring they stocked the products that were most likely to sell. In some cases, they might even extend credit to smaller retailers, facilitating trade and fostering business relationships within the community. Think of the historical context. As industrialization took hold, the sheer volume and variety of manufactured goods exploded. Jobbers played a critical role in disseminating these products beyond the immediate vicinity of factories. They facilitated the growth of retail networks, enabling goods produced in one region to reach consumers in distant locales. However, the landscape of commerce is constantly evolving, and the traditional role of the jobber has, in many ways, been transformed by the rise of mass production, sophisticated logistics, and large-scale retail chains. These modern systems often allow manufacturers to deal directly with large retailers, bypassing the need for intermediaries like the traditional jobber. But does this mean the concept of the jobber has vanished entirely? Not necessarily. While the classic image of a jobber with a bustling warehouse might be less prevalent in certain sectors, the underlying function of aggregating and distributing goods in smaller quantities still exists, albeit often under different names and within different business models. Consider online marketplaces that connect small producers with individual consumers. While not strictly jobbers in the historical sense, they perform a similar function of aggregating diverse products and facilitating their distribution. Similarly, specialized distributors who cater to niche markets might also embody some of the core characteristics of a jobber, offering a curated selection of goods to a specific set of retailers. Furthermore, the term jobber can still be found in specific industries. For instance, in the automotive aftermarket, a jobber often refers to a wholesale distributor of auto parts who sells to repair shops and smaller retailers. They maintain an inventory of various parts from different manufacturers, providing a convenient and timely source for mechanics and local auto stores. In the financial world, particularly in the context of stock exchanges, the term jobber historically referred to individuals who traded on their own account, buying and selling securities to profit from price fluctuations. While the specific role and regulations surrounding market makers have evolved significantly, the underlying principle of providing liquidity and facilitating trading bears some resemblance to the jobber's role in physical goods markets, acting as an intermediary to ensure a smooth flow of transactions. So, while the traditional image of the generalist jobber might be fading in some sectors, the fundamental need for efficient aggregation and distribution, particularly for smaller players and specialized markets, persists. The spirit of the jobber, the intermediary who bridges gaps, facilitates trade, and provides access to a diverse range of goods, can be seen in various forms even in today's complex economic landscape. The rise of e-commerce has also introduced new forms of jobbing. Individuals who source products from various online suppliers and resell them through their own online stores or platforms could be seen as modern-day jobbers, leveraging digital tools to aggregate and distribute goods. Dropshipping models, where sellers don't hold inventory themselves but facilitate the shipment of goods directly from suppliers to customers, also echo some aspects of the jobber's role in connecting supply and demand. It's also worth noting the potential for the term jobber to carry slightly different connotations depending on the region or industry. In some contexts, it might still be used in a more general sense to refer to someone who deals in a variety of goods, perhaps even on a smaller or more informal scale. Understanding the specific context is key to interpreting the meaning accurately. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.